Welcome to the frozen peaks of the Himalayas in 1939, a time when the world was vast, unexplored, and legends still walked the earth. Here, a legend of myth and ice was hunted by a creature of pure arrogance, and found by a legend of blood and bone. This is the story of Ayaz, the elder predator. Our story begins with a human expedition, driven by greed and the hunger for a trophy. They sought the mythical Yeti, aided by local villagers who revered the beast as a sacred guardian. But the villagers would go no further up the mountain. This was holy ground, they warned. The expedition's leader, a man who believed money could buy anything, scoffed at the sacred. He demanded the monster, not just its footprints. He would pay any price, conquer any obstacle. His ambition was deaf to reason. He saw only glory in being the first to bag such a beast. They found tracks, immense, fresh. Not a bear, but something far greater. They were close, yet they were not alone. High above, almost invisible against the snow, an ancient hunter watched. This was Ayaz, an elder of the Yautja. Centuries of hunts had honed his senses beyond the need for a biomask. His ancient, scarred face was unveiled, observing with cold precision. He was a master tactician, a living legend among his kind, draped in a long, flowing cape signifying his immense experience and authority. He was here for the Yeti, a truly worthy quarry, elusive and formidable. The humans below. They were merely instruments, part of his calculated game. As they approached their destination, a sense of unease settled on some of the men. They spoke of respecting the sacred, of not disturbing ancient things, but their leader only laughed, consumed by the vision of a mountain named after his conquest. Then from the silent heights, a warning. 3 red dots, dancing on the snow, then on the leader's hand. He was confused, believing it to be some strange natural phenomenon. Suddenly, a violent burst of plasma. The ground gave way and the expedition plunged into the icy depths of a cavern. The fall was no accident. The precise strike of the plasma caster was deliberate, a tool not for killing, but for control. One of the men screamed in shock, his entire arm gone. Then, a low, guttural growl echoed through the cavern. The Yeti, the mythical beast, emerged from the shadows, massive and terrifying. The Yeti, furious at the intrusion, engaged its tormentors. One of the expedition members was brutally swatted, his life extinguished in an instant. The remaining men were trapped, defenseless, caught between the ancient wrath of the mountain and an unseen, otherworldly force. Suddenly, a metallic shriek and a multi-bladed shuriken disc spun through the air, severing the Yeti's arm. From the shadows, a formidable figure stepped forth. It was Ayaz, the elder predator. Unmasked, with centuries of scars adorning his face, he moved with lethal grace. His long red cape flowed behind him, a symbol of countless victories. He was massive, easily towering over the humans, every inch a peak predator. His motives were clear. The hunt was his alone. He had come to Earth, to these remote mountains, not for the humans, but for the elusive Yeti. The Yeti, a creature of immense power, fought back, biting the elder. But Ayaz was unyielding. He responded with brutal efficiency, snapping the beast's other arm. This was not a fair fight. This was a demonstration of a supreme hunter's power. The surviving expedition member, watching in horror, finally understood. They were never the hunters. They were merely bait, driven before the true hunter to flush out its prize. Ayaz drew his wrist blades, ancient instruments of 1,000 honored kills. With swift, decisive movements, he ended the Yeti's life. The fight, a mere 15 seconds, was over. The elder predator, Ayaz, walked away with only a bite to his arm, a trivial wound for a hunter of his caliber. He sought challenge, not easy kills, and the Yeti had provided a worthy, if brief, contest. His equipment, from the plasma caster that had crippled the human leader to the shuriken disc and wrist blades, were extensions of his will, tools of a master. Weeks later, the sole survivor sent his photographs to American scientists. Without physical proof of the Yeti or the true hunter, his account was dismissed as the ravings of a man broken by the mountains. A bear, they concluded. Nothing more. He would recover physically, but the experience branded him forever. He carried the terrifying truth within him, a silent witness to a cosmic hunt far beyond human comprehension. The mountains kept their secrets, and Ayaz, the Yeti Hunter, disappeared back into the vast, cold void, leaving behind only whispers and the chilling knowledge of what truly hunts in the shadows.